Good evening. We are here live on the Monday Training Mastermind, February 10th, 2025, nearly Valentine's Day. Love is in the air, and so is the internet. All right, let's get going. Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming down. If you are viewing with more than one person, please do make sure to put all of your names in the chat so we may include you in the upcoming Wheel of Good Fortune. And here I got y'all. You have now been entered into the drawing. So this is going to be pretty cool this week. We're going to be reviewing quickly what we went over already on overcoming objections. And then we're going to spend most of the time today on especially how to deal with something you get a lot. I got to just talk to my wife about it. It sounds great, but I'll just ask the wife and we'll get back to you, or all the versions of that. Okay. So let me send you guys' names over here and let's get this party started. Cool. So we want to review. Oops. There we go. We want to review stuff we went over before. So main couple bigger, broader points to reiterate on these overcoming objections is simply to go to the doors expecting to get lots of no upfront, to withstand it, to realize that they're smoke screens and they're not legitimate objections, like I'm real busy or I have a call coming up or I'm about to take the kids to soccer or whatever. Somebody came by a few weeks ago or months ago or last year or whatever. All of these are essentially, I don't know who you are. You came to my door. I don't want to deal with it. I'm overwhelmed. The kids are screaming. Just go away is all that means, right? So you're going to have at least one, probably two, three, up to 4 or 5 of those. Then you may start to get into actual objections, like we've been talking about. Okay. So just go into the doors knowing you will eventually probably get someone who's like, I was literally about to call tomorrow and sign up. So yeah, let's do it. I can't wait. I already want the 2 gig. I know the whole deal. Like, what do you need? Yeah, you're going to get one eventually. If you do this long enough, you'll get a bunch of them. But reality is, right, 99 out of 100 doors, you're going to get a bunch of no. So plan for no. Love no. That's great. This is normal. They're giving me all their no's. It's all a bunch of BS. Keep them coming. As soon as we get through these, I can actually, we can get down to this, right? So don't get phased by those. Don't stop too early. Don't give up on the first 3, 4, 5 no's. Let them keep coming and just see how long they let you keep going, right? Keep going. There's a 1 in a million chance. Keep going. Okay. So that's the main thing. The answer to all of the smoke screens is, so that's actually the reason I'm out here. So that's why they sent me over here today. Oh yeah, I'm so sorry that actually happened before. That's why they sent me down here. So what we're actually doing next week is this. So that's why it's pretty quick, right? Et cetera, et cetera. So let's see here. 1 second here. So yeah, just making sure to blow over those. And if you need to even respond verbally at all, maybe just like a glance up or a kind of movement of the eyebrows or a little quick kind of yeah head nod, you can do that and just keep talking on a lot of those no's. And if you do have to say something, what you say is, so that's actually the reason they sent me down here. See, what we're doing here is blah, 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 blah. There's one answer to everything. Easy. And then just keep going right back where you left off. You want to acknowledge the objections. Acknowledge the objections. Yeah, they totally tore the entire back half of your yard in half and never fixed it when they came through with the main line last year. It looks terrible. I agree, man. I am so sorry that happened. That's a whole other department. You might as well use the stuff while it's in here. So, that's actually why they sent me down, just to apologize for that. We want to make sure we can get you our best promos and everything as far as the service goes. We're going to hook you up for free. We're doing them next week while we're getting everybody done, blah, 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 right? Either way, validate it. Don't grow it. I'm sorry, acknowledge it, but don't validate it. Don't go into it and make it a huger deal. Or like, yeah, that's terrible. And if I was you, I wouldn't get the internet from us either. Because man, anybody that messes my yard up is never coming back in my house again. The main line's totally unrelated at this point to what we're doing. And it may have been awesome and it may have been terrible, but bottom line is, dude, you're using the internet. Let's just hook the thing up, right? You made it this far, your yard's all screwed up. Why not at least reap the benefits and get the cheap internet? You know, I'll give you the best deal we got, right? And all of my back pocket offers that I can in one, just to extra give you some love, because I'm so sorry. But we're still going to get you on for Tuesday, obviously, right? Because that's what I'm here to do. That's why they sent me over today, actually. Okay, so acknowledge them, but rein it back into great. And so I'll go ahead and overcome that and sign you up. You can use the neighbors to build a bandwagon effect. Feel, felt, found. Oh yeah, yeah. You know, you just thought it was going to be too much of a hassle to get it in and change over from the Spectrum and stuff, and get off the cable TV and everything, and then get onto the fiber cable. You know, that streaming TV. I hear you. Yeah, I know for most folks that's kind of been the main thing. You know, you want the faster, cheaper internet. That obviously makes sense for everybody over here, and getting the free install, no brainer. You know, I know that the TV's been holding you up, and we're gonna go, guys, into breaking the bundle and all this TV stuff on a whole other call, so I'm not gonna go deep into it. But essentially, feel, felt, found. Susie and Bob down there, they felt the same way. Hadn't made the switch for quite a while. Their bill was pretty high. I think it wasn't quite as bad as yours, but it was killing them just for what they were getting. You can use Bryce's line. Really, I find people over here just don't really care who they pay for the internet and the TV, as long as they're getting the best value for the money. So when we were through 6 months ago, I hooked them up. We went ahead and did it, got it in. They gave it a whirl, just like I said. We didn't turn the other stuff off quite yet till this was all in and hooked up. They used it for like 3 or 4 days. They called me. They said they found that actually, yeah, the TV quality was clearer, and actually navigating it was basically just not as hard as they thought it was going to be, and fine. And the internet was insanely fast, and the bill was half. So you know what? As much as they don't even like guys coming over to the house and bothering them and knocking on the door, they're pretty glad they did it, because it's great, and they kept it. So I think you'll find and feel the same way if you guys go ahead and get it in, like everybody else over here, and at least get that infrastructure done. But give it a whirl, give it a shot, and I think you'll see it makes sense for you guys when you make that decision together, right? Which is what we're getting to today. Okay, so feel, felt, found, bandwagon the neighbors, but don't say that I have it in my house and I think it's better. Who cares, dude? You're just the dude that's annoying me. Neighbors over here, right? Which means you need to have gone and talked to some neighbors, find the people who are already on it in their yard and talk to them, get their feedback and get their names. If you can't get a referral, at least get their names and use them to sell the rest of the neighborhood. Okay. Start stacking those names up. By the 5th close of the day, you should have at least 4 names to drop if you need them, right? So anyway, feel, felt, found. And then ideally, if you can actually figure out what their probably 1 or maybe 2 real objections are to what, their secret objections, none of the smoke screens, none of the I'm too busy, none of the I'm on the phones, but the actual, I actually have a contract and it has 6 months left. And so I don't know if I should really pay them out. And I have the security bundled and the cameras still have $800 left. That might be a hard sell, who knows, depending on what your company offers for promos and stuff, but there probably is a way to get it done, but you're certainly not going to get that sale actually closed and installed unless you actually get to those objections. But if you can, by spending the time letting them get all the top stuff off that has no meaning, and actually have nothing left to tell you but the real objection, because you were patient and slowed down and just stayed there with them through all the crap, they'll tell you it, then isolate the objection. So this is the next point. Isolate the objection. So, if I could make it super easy for you to get it installed, you literally open the door, you wait an hour, have an iced tea, you close the door and it's on, that's it. If I can make sure that was super good for you, you got my number. I'll take care of anything that's going to come up and make it a hassle at all. You guys will be otherwise ready to go ahead and give this thing a whirl and, get it in while we're doing them. Okay, great. All right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to give you my number. I'm going to, whatever it is, you don't want it through the yard. Okay. But well, if we could get it flagged out for you ahead of time, and I can put some notes so that the guys put the line where you put the flags, where you'd like the line buried, would that get that solved for you so we can get it in? And otherwise you'd be ready to go. Okay, great. If you could use your own gaming router instead of using ours, because you got it all set up and we could offer you a static IP, otherwise you'd be set to go ahead and switch over. Okay, great. Tell you what we'll do. We'll set you all up. Once it's in, you just call into customer service. They're going to set you up with that static IP on your own router. You're going to send them the details so they can configure it. You're all set. Great. So Wednesday or Thursday, Friday for you? Perfect. Okay. Isolate that objection. Get them in the corner. Make them agree that if you can take care of that, there's nothing left stopping them from going ahead and getting on the install map for next week on the schedule. Then make up whatever is realistic enough that you can get it done to overcome that, right? Depending on what that is. And which today it's going to be, I'm totally down to buy it. I'm 100% in, but I'm going to have to talk to my wife first. Okay, so that's going to be what the one objection is today. But you isolate it, you take care of it, you remove it, and you get them on the schedule. Okay. And in the bigger picture, just to remember that we're on the customer side. I'll talk, Giovanni, good question. I'll answer that in a second. And yeah, cool. So we're on their side, right? It's not us against them. We're not in a war against the customer to see how many we can overcome and defeat and sign up today. Go in service. We have an insanely good product at almost always a better price, at always a faster speed connectivity with opposite terms of what they're on in almost all cases in crazy promos and often even free gear. There's nothing to feel anything except exceptionally pumped about this offer. So we go in service, we're helping them out. If they can't see that, the world is full of people who, if you try to just give them $100 bill, wouldn't take it. It's just the reality of trust and life and experiences and whatever, what people believe. But the reality is that a lot of people out there can figure out that they want better, faster, cheaper internet, and they're going to go ahead and get it. If you can just let them get through all the stuff they don't like about somebody knocking on their door and just slow down and make it make sense for them that this is what's happening next week and there's all the reasons to do it, and they'll say great. So that's the main thing. Go in service, be on their side. If anything, throw the coax company you're selling against under the bus and team up to take them down. But you're here to help them. And when you get buddied up for them, that's your minute to test how in it are they with you, because you're in it with them, right? So that's the review. Smoke screens, beware. The answer to everything is, so the reason I'm out here, and that's why they sent me over here. And so actually that's what we're doing today. And you want to acknowledge the objections, but not validate them. Bandwagon the neighbors with feel, felt, and found about what everybody else already did last time. And, if I would, you isolate the objection so that you can overcome it and get them signed up and stay on their side. Work with them to help them get what they need, which is better internet, better value for the money. Easy. Okay. Giovanni asked me, is there a reason that I say install map instead of install schedule? I call it the free install map. Buddy of mine, so I can't take full credit for that. Buddy of mine, undisclosed, invented that. It doesn't really exist, but it does in my mind, and it sounds really good to the customer. I'm out here getting name, number, email, just getting you on the free install map because I'm building the map. Essentially, we're scheduling people that goes into the map. So just getting you on the free install map. It's the map that gets built for the techs who come out and do the map, do the route. So I call it the free install map because to me that's more visual. Schedule sounds like you're signing up for something, whereas map seems like it's already happening and it all needs to get mapped out and we're connecting the main line. I also never say that we want to connect your house up to the main line. That feels like we're doing it to you and we want you to now get service. I only say we're out here connecting the main line down to the houses. Just seems like more systematic. We're just going down on the map, getting it from the main to the more detailed. Came from the main, now we finally got them down the streets. Now we're just coming through, getting them from the main down to each house. We must have missed you last time. So that's all we're doing is wanting to get you scheduled up for that on that free install map for next week when we're coming through. To me, that's so much slicker than schedule. So, and then if they say, no, I don't want it, if I want to be a little rude, I also invented the RFI, which I don't know if I encourage you to use or not, so maybe I should never have told you this, but the refused free install list. Oh yeah, no worries. I can just put you on the RFI. I don't recommend it, but if that's what you really want, we can just not come over here and get your free line done while we're doing everything. So, I will sometimes throw that in there, kind of just a little like last, like if you already really kind of probably lost this sale and you just want to try to Hail Mary it with a little bit of a like, if it could get really bad, you can give them the RFI pitch, and really the companies do notice when somebody keeps saying no or whatever, they're going to keep mailing them. The deal is going to keep getting worse, right? Will the price of the install eventually be $3,000? Probably not. But guess what? It's free today. And what I do know is it's never going to be a better deal than free. That's why everybody else is going ahead and at least getting it done, giving it a whirl and planning to switch as long as it's everything I'm telling them. Okay, so there you go. There's some stuff that you can use. But let's get into now the heart of the matter. Any other questions on these things before we move on? Comments? Anybody do any of that this week and notice, wow, that actually worked? Or anybody just like go crazy and be like, I'm just going to make everybody say no until they're yelling at me before I leave the door? Or anything exciting to report at this point? Come on, I know you want to. You're thinking about it. Who is it? All right. Guess not. Well, let's keep going.
My head hurts.
Brandon's head hurts. What did you say, Brandon?
Yeah, that's what I said. My head hurts.
Brandon's head hurts. Nice. Thanks for the comment. Yeah, exactly. And I just talked their brain off so long that their head hurts and they just sign up out of sheer surrender.
No, it was from yesterday. Not you.
I gotcha. Yesterday was a bit of a doozy for a Sunday. I agree. Something about that moon getting full. Clouds, are you trying to come on? Because I was muting you.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, come
no
on.
problem.
Come on down. Come on down.
Yeah, I went to like a concert event and just pitched my pitch to random people as practice.
Uh-huh.
That's basically it. Everybody thought it was a cool idea, but also said no. But I just thought it was fun to practice.
That's crazy good practice. Anywhere you can practice is good practice. I love that. Yeah, and there's no loss. Like, who cares, right? It could have been their address isn't even eligible, but like at least you just practice pitching. So I'm all about it. Love it. All right. Okay, well, let's keep going, guys. I'm assuming everybody over here, if you want to drop me like a one in the comments or something, you probably got at least once today. I'm gonna have to talk to my husband about it. My wife does all those bills. I'll have to give this to her and show her about it, you know. Some variety of you can go for 15 minutes. You went through everything, how it's gonna be hooked up, the router they're gonna use. The dude is completely signed up is except for actually putting it through. You might even have all of his info and submitted the form and you go to do the welcome call. And just, oh yeah, well no, I just wanted to, scope it out. I'm way into it. Just wanted to make sure I understood what was going on. I'll tell the wife, she does all the internet bills. She's the one with the home office, like I was saying. So, and see what speed she wants and stuff like that. So we'll just get back to you. Maybe just throw me your number. And dude, you're pissed. You just spent like 20 minutes with this guy and now he's gonna do that. You gotta be freaking kidding me. Not on my clock. So I can tell you what I'll say in a minute. Let's Duke, I'd love to hear what you would say to this. Maybe Brandon, you can tell us what you would say to this. I'll tell you guys what I would say to this. But
Yeah, I got one.
let's just go on this for a while. So yeah, you show up, you basically just did the whole thing. Let's say in this case, it happens earlier a lot of times too. But let's just say you basically just sold this deal. You spent forever. You were like, this is 300% done. Basically, it's just like over. And then the guy says, yeah. So Brandon, anyway, yeah, thanks for coming by. Like I said, the wife's got the home office, so she does all the bills and stuff. I'll just tell her, you came by all about it and stuff. I'm sure we'll probably get it done. We'll just give you a call back or something to get on that schedule. Maybe just, do you have a number or something you could give me? You got a card?
Yeah, no worries, man. I actually want you to tell her the good news. But while I'm here, I'm just going to go ahead and get you on the schedule. If for whatever reason she doesn't want the better, faster internet after you tell her, I'll give you my number. Just give me a call.
Got it. Short
So
Look at
yeah,
that.
I mean we're not selling a car or a home or a $50,000 solar loan. We're selling better, faster, cheaper internet to these people. Just anything they say is a smokescreen, just like Noam was saying. Just ignore it, move right past it. You'll get every single deal.
Yeah, I completely agree with Brandon as well. Hell, I got I got that from him in the first place. So it's definitely more so of the pushing it, like, okay, or I hit him with the Brandon, like, okay, so help me. What is your understanding of the next phase of this project, and is there a better time for me to come by and explain it to you and your spouse, since she's the one that take care of the bill, or something to that tune?
Yeah, so 100%. So a few things here. So here's what I saw from both of what these guys just said. A, I don't care that you just told me whatever you just told me, basically. Acknowledge it. Like Brandon says, yeah, I want you to make this choice together. Okay. So we'll go ahead and get you on the map today. And then you guys make this choice together. If anything goes wrong, you're going to have my number. You just, give me a call. I can re-explain it. We can, whatever, right? Duke went on to say, what'd you say, Duke? Give it to us one more time.
So it's two ways you can do it, right? You can get them on the schedule, like, I use as well. It just depends on the temperament of the customer, obviously. Or I would just set an appointment versus getting them actually on the thing where I can explain it to both of them at the same time to kind of get both of the decision makers in front of me. But if it doesn't work, then I'll just push to get them on a schedule, leave them my number. And hey, if anything comes up, a neighbor comes by and bad mouths Fiber First or whoever you're selling for, give me a call back. Let's talk it out together.
Perfect. Yeah. So, well, I'm going to we'll go back and forth a little bit. But there's a point I really want to emphasize here, which is that when you got a one-legger at the door here, okay, and they're not going to make the final choice without the spouse, we want to try to just get them signed up anyway today. And I'll give you my pitch, which is basically that we're not making any decisions today. We're getting you on the map, and you guys are going to make the decision together once you're trying it. And when you see it makes sense for you, you go ahead and turn the other one off. Okay, so we're not deciding anything here today. We're just getting you on the map. Essentially, I'll go deeper on that later. But when you got a one-legger, once I realize they will not make the decision on their own, if I've already tried 1, 2, 3 times after they've told me this and they're not going to do it, I don't waste any more time with them. They've already wasted a bunch of my time. I'm probably going to have to say it all again for the other person anyway. It's probably going to take longer because this person's going to inject in their mind with a bunch of half-true stuff they kind of remembered and kind of forgot from what I said. So it's almost more annoying. So as you probably have seen, if you make an appointment, you say, hey, when's the wife back? Then I'll stop back and talk to her. Oh, it's 6, right? You go back at 6, there's nobody there. Okay. So also you go back, and we usually on a go back like this, the answer is pretty quick because the first spouse has updated the decision maker when they come home on what just happened. And they're going to probably be nearly yes or no by the time you go back and knock, which usually is good for me because it means it goes pretty quick. Sometimes they haven't updated them at all, and you do have to start all the way from the beginning. Sometimes you show back up and the first person's at the door and said they checked in and the decision maker said, let's do it. And they're there to give you the information. I mean, that's even better in my opinion. But the thing is the point here is when you get a one-legger at the door and as soon as you know they're not going to make a thing, figure out when will the decision maker quit screwing around with the non-decision maker. Okay, awesome. You're not going to make a decision. In the case, I'm not going to fight you. Hooray. Like try 3, 4 times, but if they're just not going to do it and now you're going to tick them off, great. I'll come back and explain it to your wife. No problem. Whatever. What's a good time? And then set it and then try to come back, or let me send your wife the information or something. But the point here is get that one-legger, and ask them, did you have any other questions? And before you let them go, this is what I'm really getting to. Ask them, isolate it, except for making sure that your wife, the decision maker, or who you want to decide together with on this, is okay to at least even just set the appointment for the install. Is there anything else that would, that you have a question about or anything else you'd want to go over while I'm over here? Because what you need is you need when you leave for them to be over 51% sold on this idea that they want it. And they're going to stand up for it and fight to the wife to get it. Versus if they're under 50% sold on this idea, so you do have to spend enough time to get them there. And the wife says, no, they're done. They're going to shut down. Okay, yeah, I hear you. Yeah, I didn't think it was a very good idea anyway. I figured you'd say no, right? They're not going to fight for it. So do realize, like, if you're this invested in a one-legger, you might as well go the rest of the way and make sure they're like 75, 80, 90%, all the way to if my wife says, yes, I'm definitely willing to sign up. that's where you want them when you leave. Because if they're not there, your chances of the second decision maker signing up will probably go significantly down based on the influence of the person you talk to, right? Or their reaction. So do know that you have to kind of leave them in a state of feeling like yes about the idea, and then get out of there, come back when the decision maker is there, and get it done. Okay. So yeah, the main thing here is, you know, Brandon's is nice because, yeah, I want you guys to make that, his is like a shorter version of mine. Mine is basically going to be, absolutely, absolutely, most folks are like that, and you guys should definitely make that decision together. That's why we do it this way, actually. So like I said, all I'm doing is getting your name number, throwing you on the day that you want, so we can just get the line from the main up and into the house, make sure the thing's tested, get it on for you. Then you guys, so that was one step. That's all I'm doing today. Remember, my whole pitch is based around, all I'm doing is just get name number, then we can get it done for you. That's my whole pitch. Everything else is getting me back to that. And so like I said, all I'm doing is that, so we can just go ahead and get it in for you. Then you guys are going to try it together and experience the fiber. And I don't just say try the internet, I say experience the fiber. This isn't just trying the internet. This is experiencing the fiber. This is not just a little faster internet. This is life-changing levels of internet, right? It's like, this is intense. This is experience the fiber together. And if it makes sense for you guys, like I'm sure it will, then you can make the decision together to go ahead and switch over to us. We'd love to have your business. That's why we do it this way, and we just get it in for you. There's not going to be any costs, like we said. Once you guys experience the fiber together, when you see it makes sense for you, you look at the bills, you look at the speeds, you watch some movies, watch your game, you check out the clarity of the TV, do a free trial on the streaming, do a mock-up. I think you're going to see you love it. You're going to go ahead and switch. You make that decision together, and that's why we do it this way. So, you guys will have plenty of time to talk about it and see if it makes sense. Let's just get you in Wednesday while we're doing everybody else down here. That way at least you have a shot to even see, if you like it or not. I mean, it's hard to tell me, okay, that's a terrible idea, bro. Right? Cloud, you got your hand raised. Go ahead.
Yes, sir. So obviously I'm really new to this and I'm just a dude. But I understand that people are more likely to say no than yes. So just using a little bit of reverse psychology, or what I call, like concern manipulation, like kind of guilt tripping them a little bit, kind of hitting with the, so you want the less reliable, so you want the slower internet, and they're gonna say no. And if they're likely to say no to what they currently have, they're probably likely to say yes to what they're gonna get.
Well, you can do that. I 100% agree. And at times I will sprinkle some of that in there, but I pull back quickly to a positive attitude, because what I will say is that, if a customer is also kind of close to the edge and temperamental, you'll instantly lose them if you do that too deep, too fast, too much, because they'll be offended. They'll be like, yeah, I do want the slower internet, and slam the door. That right. If you go with a more, I'm here on your side no matter what you do to me, my only response is love. Love is more powerful than fear, is the universal, mandate. It's hard for them to get rid of you, because they're like, I'm gonna shoot you. You're like, oh, that's so good. I'm hungry and I actually eat lead. Can you put barbecue on it? But can we do Tuesday or Wednesday? Get that gun loaded. Wednesday, great deal, to go ahead and shoot me, like whatever. But it's like they don't know what to do with you, right? So I mean, yes, sometimes I will tell people like I love to tell people, especially if I've had a couple people say no in a row and I'm in a little spicy attitude, I got to be nice, but I love to say, yeah, happy to just not come over here and give you guys the free install while we're doing everybody else in the neighborhood next week, just leave you on that old copper coax. You can stay on it a little longer until it finally just turns off. It's all good. And it's a leak. I mean, whatever. It's not very nice. You shouldn't really do that. But sometimes, we've all been out there, right? Sometimes you're straight pissed because it's just been a rough day. But you got to be nice to people. And the more you're nice and you're exuding positivity and the more you're exuding confidence in that I'm out here every day, this is all I do. Everybody says yes. This is an absolute no-brainer. And I'm not really here to talk to you about whether or not it's cheaper or faster. It just mathematically is. So it's just down to, did you want to get it now from me for free? Or do you want to wait till later and see what happens? Those are the two choices you're faced with. Do you want to get it from me now for free? Or do you want to wait till later and see what happens? Those are the only two realities you're looking at here. So, willing to take the chance and go for free? Or do you want to take the chance and go for we have no idea what will happen later? And continue to pay knowingly more for a slower internet in the meantime, for sure. That's your decision, buddy, right? So, okay, Clouds, one more. Come on down.
My bad, I forgot to lower my hand.
Oh, you're good. You're good. Right on. So yeah, I mean, you know, you can retort a little, and it depends on the temperament of the customer. You got to read the, you know, some fragile lady or some crazy guy who's already real angry. I don't usually do that at all. I just stay ridiculously positive, like I didn't understand that he was trying to get me to leave, and I'm just so happy to be there because everybody else down here got it, and I don't know how we missed you. So, oh wow, you're yelling at me. I'm like, for what? You know why? Because I'm just on here on utilities, sir. What's going on? You know. So try to be as positive as possible. People love that, right? People are not happy in this world. So if you go and you're super happy, you're pumped, you're smiling, they're just like attracted to talking to you because nobody's like that anymore. So be happy, be nice. They just will keep talking to you. They talk to you long enough, guess what? They're going to get internet. Okay. So just to kind of go back and rewind and review what all just happened here. That, like, for me on mine, the way that I really pitch this is so I like for anybody, I like to do what I just said, and I like to say, you know, hey, you know, that's actually, again, so that's actually, you know, why they sent me down here. So it's kind of along those lines. So that's actually the reason we do it this way. We just get it in with no cost or anything like that, no risk, you know, no commitment, no contract. We just can put it in. We're doing everybody. It's efficient for us. That's why we do it this way, you know, but we don't charge anything because we're going to let you guys then try it together. Second step after it's in, which is what I'm doing. So we need to get that done now. Then you can do what you want, which is you guys try it together to make a decision. Then if you like it, you'll make the decision to go ahead and keep it on forever, which is what we know will probably happen. And that's why we do this business model and give you the free installs worth a couple $1,000 of stuff to your house and all this time and energy and stuff up front, is because basically everybody keeps it. Because what are you going to do? Go back to the slower, more expensive internet once you've used this? Nobody does. So that's why I'm sure you'll see what the neighbors found once we get it in. And you're going to have my number. I'll send it to you right now. You guys are going to have a confirmation email with all the stuff in it that you need. If there's any, you know, hesitation from your wife at all, because I, you know, to get the install, feel free to let me know. I'm happy to call her and make it make sense for her to go ahead and get this thing done. And otherwise, we can just pull your appointment off. We can pull the plug on it. Just not come over here and get you guys the free line and equipment when we're doing everybody else. So you can't try it and never know what you're missing. If you want to be spicy, definitely don't say that thing I just said, but you know, but that's kind of like the dude, you're totally missing out. And honestly, they are. So, you know, okay, so there's a little more, and then I have 2 more points for you here, 2 more kind of like little one-liners that we'll do. Brendan, yeah, bring it.
Yes, sir. So I was wondering, like, the way that you're pitching it, you're kind of like, if it is like that and it is a one, like you're like giving them the opportunity, the way that you're pitching, you're like, you know, go ahead and try it, you know, experience it, get it installed and give it a shot. And then, you know, obviously you're going to enjoy the service, right? So that's not considered soft closing.
It can be. It depends how the rest of the whole pitch is gone. I mean,
Yeah, like
this guy
really
should.
before
This is well. This is after the guy is under the impression that we're installing it and they're going to buy internet. In general. Now, if it's at the very beginning of the convo, that's assuming I've done a whole pitch. We've gone over stuff. He knows
Yeah.
what I've said the prices. I've said the speeds. Him and I have already talked about that. We've gone over the router issues. and these are no contracts. So basically they can try it for 1 second.
But they're already interested, like they already want to give it a shot.
Now, all of these are related to, so there's two arenas of, let me talk to my wife about it, or let me talk to my husband about it. I got to tell the husband or the wife one is you've already done the whole pitch and the first person sold basically, except for that. That's when you want to make sure they're really sold, which is what we're talking about now, and then get a set method, whether it's a phone call, a comeback, or go back or whatever, to get the decision maker in person to get it done. Okay.
Like, don't leave it in the hands of the homeowner, of the one spouse, to tell the other spouse, right?
I try to get, like, let me send my rep card to your wife then with all the info, and then I just go straight to the wife and talk to the head of the horse.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I was just over here with your husband, Bob. He agreed that you guys would love to get that internet. He said you're in charge of all those decisions, wanted me to just talk to you direct. Love to give you, fill you in on what's going on, and give you the details, so we can make it make sense for you guys. What's a good time we could chat here in the next couple hours, or by tomorrow afternoon? We are going to be working in your neighborhood this weekend, so I'd like to go ahead and get you done, or whatever. Let me know what's convenient. But something like this, I would just text them right now. Or what's better is I would say, okay, no worries. I've done this a bunch too. Oh yeah, the wife gotcha. Is she available? Can we just call her on? Can we just get her on speaker real quick?
I know.
And then boom, they call her. Oh yeah, honey, I never told you. Yeah, I know, no, totally get it. Sign up. Yeah, get the 2 gig. Just make sure to get the 2 gig. Boom. Okay, I guess we're getting it. That was easy. So you can always try that too. Anytime somebody says, I do tons of deals through a Ring, through a speakerphone, I've had these. I'm thinking of one right now. I can see the lady's porch, or I'll get like the house cleaner. Oh, no worries. The owner, any chance we could call him, or the caretaker or whatever, like just call him. I'll do the whole deal, get the info, speakerphone to my speakerphone for the welcome call, like just get it done,
Why?
So if you can do it now, the best time to do any deal is right now. At the door the first time. Every time you go longer than that and contact them and it didn't happen yet, your chances go down.
And that's why it's good that if you have a one-legger sold, like fully sold, and you think that you can get through to the other to go ahead and get it at least the process started.
Whatever you can do, but if you can get the spouse on the speakerphone because they're just driving on the way to take the kids to football practice for an hour, get them on speakerphone and sell this deal right now.
Mm-hmm.
Right now. Yeah. So yeah, and these kind of methods are all for when you've been deeper into the pitch. They know what they're getting. They know this is a sale. You're not kind of we're out here giving you free lines, see if you like it, but this is to save a deal that's already been sold, because now the wife is going to shut it down because they have to talk to them is the spot in the pitch we're in. If you first come to the door and the guy answers, hey, what's up? Oh yeah, the fiber. I think we want it. My wife runs the office. You'd have to come back and talk to her, and he's about to close the door. Then I just say, great, I'll be right back. 2 hours, or which kind of car do I look for? The purple Mercedes. Awesome. And 5 o'clock, 5:30. And then here's a tip for you. If you can, what you want to do is you don't want to schedule anything during any of your prime time. You want to ask. I do have a lot of neighbors to see out here and in the neighborhood next door. And I've already set 5 or 6 appointments to come back yet today. Everybody wants me to come at 6, obviously. But I just can't. Would it be okay if I actually pop back over just after dark, maybe whatever time is dark at? Let's say it's dark at 7:30 now, 7:30, 7:45, something like that. Just so I can make sure and get everybody helped over here tonight. Great. I'll be here about right in there. See you then. Make sure to be here. Give me a text if you're not going to be around for any reason. Nail them down, and then set it for after dark so you can keep knocking till dark, and then at dark go do all these, check on your wife and work until 9:30. And I've been in closing deals till 10:15 because I had they gave me permission to come back at 8 or whatever, even way after dark, which you could legally knock again anyway, but right, it's annoying. If you were already there, you wouldn't want to do that. That would blow the deal if they were thinking you meant tomorrow. So ask them. And then now you've got 2 hours after dark to go make another $500 or whatever. Line 4 of these up, in a day, and then go pump them out. Right? And they're going to have you in too after dark. So now you're in the house, which totally increases your chances of selling it. or they're going to say no immediately and you're going to be right on to the next one. Okay. So, like nail down the time, kind of, you're going to control the microphone a little bit. And yeah, stack them for after dark or close to dark. So you don't have to waste prime time on go backs. Right. Part of it is how do you reply to it, and part of it is if they're still not really just not going to let you sign them up, like then how do you schedule to go back to try to get it done? As long as you know that they're sold. If they're very iffy, you might want to forget about it. Just call them a no, basically. You can ask them, so should I just put you down as a no overall, or did you want me to come back and let your wife know? I'd hate to have her missing out when we come by if you guys weren't on the schedule, since I know she's working from home over here. Or you can throw them a Bryce line again, fine. Everybody doesn't really care as long as they're getting the value. Everybody else over here working from home is definitely on the fiber. It's about 110 times faster on uploads. So I'd hate for her to miss out if she actually wanted it. Sounds like you're not really sure. So maybe I should go ahead and talk to her. Why don't I send her my rep card information? Boom. Send the wife the rep card. Okay. Couple more, then we're gonna spin the wheel. I also do this too. If I have a man at the door and I'm like man to man, I'm like, man, and so if you're a woman on here or whatever, like, I don't know, use these however they work for you, but I'll do like, and you can make up whatever analogy you want, but I'm, kind of like, bro, seriously, like me too. You gotta, before you make the final choice to switch over and disconnect everything you got on the coax, because you're going to leave it on till the day of, realistically. They're both going to be on for a day. Most everybody just instantly turns it off, so you're not getting double charged. But, total worst case scenario, you could stay on the slower, more expensive coax until it just totally fizzles out in a few years. Right? So if you can say all that kind of stuff if you really need to get this thing done. But, the less the better, the harder of close the better on that. But, man, as far as getting it down on the schedule today, I hear you just really want to wait on the wife. But it's like, right now, like I said, no commitment to anything. Worst case scenario, and here's the one letter. We can just pull the plug. You can text me. You're going to have a confirmation text on your phone the second we put this through. You can literally hit a button and just cancel the whole thing. We just won't make it over here and get you done that day. So, if she could completely shut you down, just cancel it and, fine. Call me first for sure. So if there was like one last question, I'll take care of you. But if it's just absolutely, it's not like you're committing to anything here. But the bottom line is this, man. Like, let's say the wife sent you to the grocery to buy 3 boxes of spaghetti. And when you get there, they have 4 for the price of 2. So what are you going to do? Are you going to get 4 for the price of 2? Are you going to pay more money for 3? Do you need to call and ask her if it's okay to get the better deal? Right. You're just going to buy 4 boxes of spaghetti for the price of 2, right? So same thing here. That's why I know it's going to make sense for her. You're going to have my number, and then you can use all the other lines. Again, reiterate it. Have her call me if it doesn't make sense to her, worst case, like I said, we could pull the plug, but let's get you down on the map for Tuesday. And I'll throw this in, and this firms it up, in my opinion. I'll throw this in. I'll say, hey, thing is, you got 4 or 5 days. You guys are going to talk about it. I think the more you talk about it, the more you look into it. Like most folks that I hear, a lot of people feel the same. But a couple days go by, they realize actually, by the time comes, they're really glad they did go ahead and just get on the schedule when I came by, and they didn't wait till next time we come around. So let's just get you on there now, and I'm sure that's what you're going to find as the next few days go by and you guys are thinking about it together. And just keep pushing them towards that, right? So, and sometimes if it's like an old person and they're just really nice and honest, I'll just be honest, say, ma'am, honestly, I don't even get paid unless this gets installed and stays on for 3 months. And realistically, the callbacks are probably not 90 days for most of us on most of these companies. But, I've been out here for years. I'm not still out here if people aren't keeping it on. So like just convincing you to sign up does me absolutely no good and actually makes it harder for everybody and costs our company a bunch of money. So if I didn't feel pretty darn confident that you're going to get this in, just freaking love it, even though I know that you hate anyone who comes and knocks at your door, which happens to be me right now. I get it. I wouldn't even sign you up. It's just a waste of time. So I'm pretty sure you're going to love it. Let's just get you done. Let's get you done. I'll tell people that all the time. That's the truth. Like, if I don't think they're going to keep it, I'm not going to sign them up. I'm going to just leave as fast as I can and get to someone who is going to sign up. I'll cordially let myself go and get out of there. So that's the reality. And if you need to use that to really firm it up at the end, then do that. And that shows them too. Then when they have it on, they're thinking, man, that guy known came by and did talk to me for like 45 minutes that day. And I better keep this on for 3 months to get him paid. You know, they'll just keep it on just for you, just because now they like you so much because you were honest. So there's a saying that says, heroes rise above the rest because they're honest. So, you know, it's like in the movies, like the hero always triumphs just due to the honesty, if you think about it. And I had a couple of guys who were trying a lot of, you know, kind of like guilt trips and just different types of tactics. And I told them, go out someday and just tell everyone the truth. Just no sugar on it, just the straight truth. First day, the guy did 10 a day. He was like, I was unbelievable, Noam. I just told everyone the truth and they all signed up. I'm like, yeah, that's because the offer is screaming good. So just tell them the truth and people sign up, you know? You can say the truth in a certain way that makes it sound really good. But either way, tell them the truth and it gets the job done. Nothing else is needed to sell fiber internet, guys. So, okay. That was my big spiel for today. There, oh, no, and one more. I forgot. I got to give you one more. And then I'll have questions, comments, and other quadabblings. One more is if I do have a woman, I mean, and women, you know, use this however you can do it. But I'll say, hey, you know, I like to say this, and this gives the impression that I'm out here doing this all the time too, which you are. We are. You know, in my experience, you know, when we get to this point where it sounds like you're 100% into getting this on, we just need to go ahead and confirm from the spouse, you know, from your husband when he gets back. You know, since I'm already down here, we're basically 90% of the way done already. Let me go ahead and just get you on the map for, you know, whatever we were talking about, Wednesday afternoon. Yeah, let's just get it done. What I see happening here is one of two things always happen for folks. You know, we just put you on the map. So you're assuming that's happening. We just put you on the map. Bring it up to the husband when it seems like a good time. You know, if he just totally shuts it down and you can't even talk about it, you know, worst case is we can always pull the plug and just not get to that free line and the equipment to let you try it while we're doing everybody else over here. Okay. But best case is he's like, honey, oh my God, I hate our internet and it's so slow and expensive and I can't believe it. And, you know, that's great. You just went ahead and did it. I don't even have time to deal with this kind of stuff. And that's why I married you. And man, shoot, with all this money, let's go on vacation or whatever, right? You know, and you're going to be the queen of the palace for like a month because you're the genius who freaking switched you to fiber internet. Now the football's clear. Now you saved $100 a month. I mean, duh. That's why I love you, honey. Thanks a lot. Now I'm going to go crack another beer and life goes on, right? Now you're freaking large and in charge. Either way, there's no risk for you now. And in one case scenario, you could end up winning big. And in the other, nothing happens, right? So I'll throw it on pitches to women all the time like this, and it works about 8 out of 10 times because the idea of being the queen of the palace for a month is very compelling. So you can use that if it works. Works for me. And somewhere in between all of this, something is going to work for you. And the overall point of all of this is that when they need to talk to the spouse, you can still 100% sell those deals. And you've already got half of them sold. So sell the other half and get them done. And once both halves agree they're going to get it, it's also a very sticky deal. Because both halves would have to unagree to not get it. So, all right. Love it, guys. That's what I got on how to deal with your spouse. And like relationships.